शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। गोष्पदीकृतवाराशिं अशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामालारत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजं। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं। वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति परां गतिम्। वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना। Dear friends, we are in this Ayodhya Kanda, Sarga 20 we were seeing, and the scene is that Rama is trying to take leave of Kausalya, and Kausalya is actually lamenting. So that was the scene, and it's a very sensitive, rather emotional scene. And then Rama told her, for about 14 years I have to be there in the forest. And then she fell like a tree, and then he lifted her up and gently touched her. And then, so she said, had I been a barren woman, I would have been happy. That's what she said. Yadi putraha na jayetha. Had I not had a son at all, if I was a barren woman, if I were to be a barren woman, I would have been happy. Then she recalls her background. You see, she has been the Pattamahishi, that is the first wife. But still, she was rather looked down upon. Dasharatha did not care, maybe for some political reason. In those days, you see, kings used to marry women for political reasons. Maybe it could be so. And so he just looked down on her, and then he was having some other younger wives. So that's what she says. You see, I have not got any sort of royal pleasure. You see, Abhi putre vipashyaya viti Rama iti Ramassthitam maya. You see, I did not have any pleasures from any royal pleasures by being the first wife and the topmost queen and whatnot. And I was just waiting. I was only hoping that I will have such happiness when my son becomes the king. And then now once you go away, you see, I have to hear insults from my younger queens, all the younger queens. And even now, Tvai Sannihitepi, even when you are here, even now they are insulting me. And even the servant, and if you go away, even the servants, they won't speak to me. You see, she says, Parivarena Kaikeya Samavapya Thava Vara. You see, the king is actually treating me like almost the maid servants of Kaikeyi. And yesterday I was just telling you, you see, why do you love a person? You love a person because of something you are getting from that person. And not because you love a person, not because you love her or him for her own sake or his own sake, but for your own sake. If you analyze all human relations, you love anybody for our own sake, because some benefit is there to us, otherwise we won't love. So that is what very, very brutally and frankly Yajnavalkya says to his wife in Brihadaranyupanishad. Yajnavalkya, he tells, Navare patyuh kamaya patih priyo bhavati, atmanastu kamaya patih priyo bhavati. You see, the husband, if you are loving a husband, you are loving the husband because you desire him, you are getting some benefit from him. Similarly, if you are loving a wife, not only pati, he also tells about the wife, he tells about the son, he tells about everybody. And if you are loving your wife, not because you are loving her for her own sake, you are loving her for your sake because she is serving you, she is attending on you in several ways. So that is why you like her. So like that, you see, Kausalya, she is now thinking about all the comforts which she lost. That she is as a mother, she is attached to Rama. She loves him most, but still she is also thinking about the indignities, the ignominy she is likely to suffer at the hands of other people when Rama goes away. So that is Valmiki portrays all that the human psychology in a very, very truthful way. And then she says, Kaikeyi is very haughty in temper. Kaikeya vadanam drashtum putra chakshyami durgata. You see, I can't see her. I just can't even look at her. And I was thinking, I was hoping, now that with the news of your coronation, I was thinking that all my worries were over, but now it seems all my worries are actually starting. And she says, you see, why my heart is not breaking even with this bad news. And you see, my heart is made of iron, she says. Is iron. My heart is made of iron. And it looks as though I have no place even in hell. Even Lord Yama is not taking me there. And then she says, you see, all through my life, I have led a very, very austere life, very, very philanthropic life. And then I was doing Vrataparayana. Earlier we saw her, Valmiki described her as Vrataparayana. Always doing some vratam, always doing some worship, etc., etc. All my austerities, all the philanthropic actions, they have all gone waste, she says. And now there is no option but to come along with me. And just as a weak cow, an old weak cow goes behind the calf, I have to come behind you, so that to the forest. So that is how this particular sarga ends, this 20th sarga ends, and we enter 21st sarga. 21st sarga, we see there is a discussion among all the people. Lakshmana angrily responds, and then Rama tries to console him. Then again Kaikeyi responds, and then again Rama consoles Kaikeyi. So the discussion among all the three is a sort of it's a meeting of Rama, Kaikeyi, and Lakshmana. All the three, they speak. So here you see Lakshmana is getting angry, he is distressed, he is totally distressed, deenaha, tatkala sadrusham vachaha, and overcome by that event. He was just totally overcome by that event, and then he could not control himself. But then he says, I just don't like this. I just don't like the way in which the king is sending you away. You see, just listening to a woman, striya vakyavashangataha, you see, just listening to a woman and then leaving the kingdom, it's not also good for you. And then you see, king is becoming, he has become a perverted, a person of perverted mind. Viparitasya vruddhasya. Viparita means a person whose thinking has become topsy-turvy, perverted in judgment, and he is given to sensual pleasures. And such a person, he can say anything. You see, if you are totally infatuated in the love of a woman, you can say anything. And I don't see any fault in Rama. I just don't see any fault in you. And not even your enemies speak ill about you. And so how can the king send you away? And king has really become senile or childish. Rajnyaha punar balyam upayushaha, seventh shloka. Balyam, again he has got back his childhood. It is not childlike but childish. He is behaving like a child. Then for such a person, why should we obey such a person? Number one, he is infatuated, he is perverted, and he has become childish. Why should we obey such a person? And now, you see, the only way is to resist, the only way is to forcibly, take over this coronation, you see. And he says, before all other people know of this, right now it is only known to a few of us, before other people know of this, we will straight away go through the ceremonies and occupy the kingdom. So that is what he says. And then if anyone opposes, you see, Nirmanushyam karishyami. Nirmanushyam. I will depopulate this town Ayodhya. You see, if anyone opposes, I will unpopulate Ayodhya and then send even if army stands, I will vanquish all of them. And if some followers of Bharata are there, I will put an end to all of them. And then even if Dasharatha comes, you see, I don't hesitate imprisoning or slaying him. And then he says, Mrudurhi paribhuyate, 11th shloka, Mrudurhi paribhuyate. Only a soft man is always insulted, you see. A strong man is not insulted. Only a soft man is insulted. Because you are soft, people are insulting you like this, you see. And if the king also comes, Vadhyatam api. Either he will be killed or he will be imprisoned. So that is what he says. And he also tells one Dharma Sutra, you see. Gurorapya avaliptasya karyakaryam ajanatah utpatham pratipannasya karyam bhavati shasanam. 13th shloka. Gurorapi avaliptasya. A guru, an elderly man, a respectable man, so-called respectable man, when he loses his judgment, avaliptaha, when he loses his judgment, and then when he has some wrong judgment, karyakaryam ajanatah, he doesn't know what is right and what is wrong, then he is on the wrong path. then he has to be controlled. Karyam bhavati shasanam. He should be controlled and he should be checked. So that is the duty. And he also says, you see, and he tries to evaluate, say, the possibilities of any sort of opposition. What strength has he got? Dasharatha has no strength at all. And say, how can he have enmity with you and me? We are so strong. We two of us are so strong. And then I am now taking a oath on myself. If Rama enters fire, I will enter the fire first. If he goes to the forest, I will go to the forest first. But let us not have that situation. I will even kill the father. I will even kill my father for the sake of Rama. He is actually infatuated with Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi asaktamanasam. 19th shloka. Kaikeyi asaktamanasam. You see, he is so infatuated with Kaikeyi, and I don't hesitate to even kill him. And then when he says like that, Kausalya again turns to Rama. She says, okay, you have heard what your brother Lakshmana is saying, and now you take a decision. You take a decision, whatever is right, you take a decision. And she also says, what Kaikeyi has done is against dharma. You see, nacha dharma vacha, nacha adharmyam vacha shrutva. You see, she has done something adharma. And you are not supposed to leave me. And you also know dharma. You stay back and look after me. You have to serve me. You see, the son has got a duty to serve the father. Similarly, the son also has got a duty to serve the mother. You stay there. In fact, she says, I deserve equal respect, as much respect as your father. So then, on that authority, I am saying you, Tvam saham na anujanami. I am not permitting you. This 25th shloka, na anujanami, aham anugnyam na dadami. I am not permitting you to go to the forest, you see. And then she says, and also she uses another weapon, that is, I will fast unto death if you go to forest. And then if I do so, if I really fast unto death, you are going to incur sin. This again is another way of saying. And then Rama consoles her. She tells Kausalya, you see, I don't have that strength to disobey my father. Nasti shakti pituruvakyam samatikramitum mama. You see, I don't have that strength to transgress or disobey the order of my father. And now he gives the examples of some of the people who have obeyed their fathers, like Sagara's sons. You see that Sagara's sons, we saw the episode earlier. 60,000 sons of Sagara, they just go in search of that horse and then they just get burnt by Kapila's anger. So, and then he also talks about Parashurama. Parashurama, you see, we know the story of Parashurama. Once he was, Parashurama's mother, it seems, Renuka. Her husband is Jamadagni. Father is Jamadagni and mother is Renuka. And it so happens that this Renuka once saw one Gandharva who was going on in the sky, and then she just liked him so well. And then on that day, every day she was making a pot with some sand, and then in that pot she was bringing water. On that day she could not make that pot. So this Jamadagni, she realized that this lady, she had a fleeting look at that fellow, and then she liked that fellow. And then she said, you see, your mother's mind has wavered, so you go behead her. So, and then he, not only Parashurama, he tells his sons. Jamadagni has several sons. All the people, they disobey. Only Parashurama goes and cuts her head. And then the father is pleased, and then he says, what boon do you want? You please revive my mother. So that way the mother was again revived. So, but still, he is a man who obeyed the word of his father. So that story he tells. And then he says, I am not the only one obeying father's words, you see. There are so many people, all the great men have obeyed their fathers, and there is nothing new. Naham dharmam apurvam te pratikulam pravartaye. You see, I am not doing something apurvam. Apurvam means something which was not there earlier. It is not a new trend which is being set by me. It is something which is always there. This is the old practice, old tradition. And then and if I don't listen to you, I am sure no sin is going to accrue to me. You see, my duty is to obey my father. Piturhi vachanam kurvan nakaschin nama hiyate. You see, I am not going to accrue any sin. And then he turns to Lakshmana, and then he says, oh Lakshmana, I know your strength. You are a very, very strong person. And then, you see, now I have to act according to dharma. Dharmo hi paramo loke, dharme satyam pratishthitam. Dharma is supreme in the world. And then dharma is established in satyam. We had a statement earlier, satye dharma pratisthitaha. Dharma is established in satyam. Now he says the satyam is established in dharma. That means both are mutually totally independent, totally dependent. Without dharma, satyam cannot be there. Without satyam, dharma cannot be there. So, dharme satyam pratishthitam. Dharma samshritam apyetat piturvachanam uttamam. Whatever the father has said, it is something which has to be obeyed, and that is what is dharma. Then he says, then again he says, Rama again turns to Kausalya. Okay, mother, you please permit me. I am taking a oath on my life. You bless me. You have to bless me, and then you please give me good wishes, you see. Kuru swastyayanani me. Swastyayanam. Swastyayanam is swasti vachakam. When somebody is going out, you bless them, wish her all the best, give good wishes. That is what is swastyayanam. Ayanam means journey. Swastyayanam means happy journey. You say happy journey. Something swastyayanam. The right translation now is happy journey. When somebody is going, oh, okay, wish you a happy journey. That happy journey is swastyayanam. So, Kuru swastyayanani me. Not only happy journey, of course they used to recite some mantras, there was some small ceremony and things like that. And then he says, I will come back after 14 years like that King Yayati. King Yayati was once thrown down from heaven. But again, by his effort, he went to heaven. So like King Yayati, I will again come back. And then, you see, he says, it is my duty to obey my father. Not only my duty, it is your duty, it is Lakshmana's duty, it is also Sita's duty to obey my father. And Amba samhrutya sambharan. Now vitra, samhrutya. You withdraw all these arrangements which you have made for all this, say, coronation, etc. So she says she has no reply. She heard Rama's words, which are there in accordance with the dharma, and she could not. And Ram, you see, there is a word Sudharmyam, Avyagram, Aviklavancha. Rama's words were in accordance with dharma, Avyagram, and very, very cool, not very hasty. And then Aviklavam, not in a disturbed condition, totally undisturbed, calm, equanimous condition. So she heard. And then again she says, you see, I am also your guru. If your father if you think that your father only is the respectable one, I am also the respectable. I am also respectable and I am venerable like your father. What is the use of my life without you? And then Rama again, he tells, explaining dharma. So this repeatedly, she is saying something and he is saying something. Again he is explaining dharma. Dharme sthito dharmyam uvacha vakyam. And then Valmiki says, only a person like Rama can say that. He says, Yatha sayeva arhati tatra vaktum. You see, he spoke so firmly, only Rama can say like that. He says, Yatha sayeva arhati tatra vaktum. 55th shloka. And then he says, I know your devotion and your valor, but you are causing me pain, he tells to Lakshmana. And then he says, Dharma, Artha and Kama, all these three have to go together. It is not as though you attain Artha by forsaking Dharma. You cannot forsake Dharma. Dharma has to give rise to Artha and Kama, and those three have to go together. And he compares, Bharyeva Vashyabhimata Saputra. It is like a wife who is number one, who is dutiful, number two, she is loving, and also having children. Bharyeva Vashya. Vashya is somebody who is dutiful, totally dutiful, and then not beautiful, dutiful. Abhimata, and she is loving you, and then also she has got children for you. So it is like that. Dharma, Artha, Kama, all three are in the wife. So like that. So all the three have to go together. So such comparisons we find in Valmiki. And then when all the three are not present, you see, you have to leave such pursuit. When in any pursuit, if you are not having all these three, Dharma, Artha, Kama combination, if it is not there, you have to leave it and pursue only that where Dharma exists. And you see, this is what we see in Gita also. That is, Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. In chapter 10, that is Vibhuti Yoga, Krishna says, Kama is something which is not prohibited in, say, in our scriptures or in our, say, daily life. Kama is very much needed. Desire is very much needed, but that should be in accordance with dharma. Dharma aviruddha. Dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi. And that type of kama is my own, say vibhuti, my own presence. So kama is also, it is divine when it is in accordance with dharma. Then Rama says, only the person who seeks wealth alone or kama alone will be shunned by loka. He will get into disgrace. And whatever be the reason for the king, whatever be the motive with which the king has told me, I have to obey, because he is a guru, he is a raja, he is a pita, and he is a vruddha. Guruscha raja cha pita cha vruddha. There are so many reasons for which I have to obey him. And then we both have to obey him, he says. And when the king is alive, how can you, like a widow, accompany me? He gives another reason. The king is alive, only when the husband is not there, then okay, there is some reason if you accompany me. When the king is there, it is your duty. But now, you pray for me, you wish me good luck, and permit me to go. And then, just for kingdom, I can't stake my reputation. Another thing he says, Yashohyaham kevala rajya karanat na prashtatah kartumalam mahodayam. You see, Yashaha. Yasha means fame or reputation. You see, lot many people, they do good things only because of reputation, for reputation, because they don't want to lose their reputation. And Dharma is something much, Rama is something much more. He is a person who is personification of Dharma. So such a person, he can't say do anything for adharma. And he can't do, say, even for kingdom or anything like that. He cannot do adharma. So that is what he says. I can't stake my reputation. After all, he says, life is very, very short. Say, adirgha kalena tu devi jivite. You see, this life is very, very short. And then I can't, stake my reputation. So he consoles his mother. Then again, he tries to convince Lakshmana. Lakshmana again he is fretting and fuming like a serpent, you see. Saroshamiva Nagendram. Next chapter is Sarga 22. That is Saroshamiva Nagendram. He is like a Nagendra. He is like a huge serpent which is Sarosham. It is very, very angry, fretting and fuming. Lakshmana is repeatedly compared to Nagendra, you see. There is a tradition, if you see in the Vaishnava tradition, they think that, they say that Lakshmana is actually the, Adisesha who is reborn as Lakshmana. Vishnu is born as Rama, and Lakshmana is born as Adisesha, and Shankha Chakra, they are Bharata Shatrughna. So that is what is the Vaishnava tradition. So maybe that tradition derives some sort of support from these sort of images. You see, Valmiki repeatedly says, Saroshamiva Nagendram. You see, Naga means, there are two meanings for the word Naga. Naga means an elephant, Naga also means a snake. Here, of course, we are talking about a snake only. So, the Lakshmana is quite often compared to a serpent which is hissing in great fury and anger. Then he says, you control your temper and grief. Please be cheerful. Nigruhya rosham shokancha dhairyam ashritya. Be cheerful and ignore this particular insult, whatever it is. You see, you abide by patience and set aside all those things. Just keep away all those arrangements which have been made for this sort of coronation. Then let my father be, and also satyas satyabhisamdhasya nityam satya parakramaha. You see, let father be happy, you see, because the father is paraloka bhayad bhitaha. He has to stick to truth. If he doesn't stick to truth, you see, he is afraid that he will go to hell. Paraloka bhayad bhitaha, because somebody who says asatyam is going to hell. And the father, let him be happy, let him not have that fear of going to hell, let him stay fearless. Nityam satyaparakramaha nirbhayostu pitamama. Nirbhayaha astu means let him be happy, let him be fearless. And then, if this sort of all these arrangements are not withdrawn, I will be, you see, my father will be greatly pained. If all these arrangements are not withdrawn, you see, the father will be greatly pained. And he turns to Kaikeyi, and Kaikeyi will be happy if only I go, otherwise she will not be happy. And then, now he touches upon another point. You see, all this, this is all divine will. So Valmiki now, he devotes a few shlokas to talk about the divine will, or destiny we may call it, or divine will. Krutanta eva saumitre drashtavyo mat pravasane. You see, there is nobody who is responsible for this. It is the divine will which is responsible, you see. And none else. How can, you see, the Raj, I was about to be coronated, and immediately it was taken back. Just given and just taken back. You see, Rajyasya cha vitirnasya punareva nivartate. Just it has come, and then again it has gone. And whom else can you say hold responsible? Only the divine will can be held responsible. And that divine will only has prompted Kaikeyi. And you know that Kaikeyi loved me like her own son. And how else can you explain? Except destiny or except the divine will. How else can you explain it? And then he says, and Katham Prakriti Sampanna Rajaputri Tatha Guna. You see, she is again a person of noble qualities. Prakriti Sampanna. Prakriti Sampanna is a person of noble qualities, born with noble qualities. And then she is a Rajaputri. And then she is so virtuous, she is having all such virtues. And how can such a woman speak like an uncultured woman? Bruyatsa Prakruteva. Prakrutaiva. Prakruta is an uncultured person, uncultured woman. Prakrutaha is an uncultured man. Prakruta, uncultured woman. How can she talk like an uncultured woman, you see? Unless this divine will is accepted, you can't explain otherwise. Destiny cannot be, and divine will is something which is very, very difficult to understand. And this seems to be the only reason. And then, and such unforeseen thing, you see, all this unforeseen thing only in our tradition we call it Adhidaivam. You see, Tapatraya, we use this Adhyatmika, Adhidaivika and Adhibhautika. So now there is no Adhyatmika or Adhibhautika. It is something which is Adhidaivika as a obstacle. So such things you can only attribute to the divine will. So that is what he says. And then he says, with this understanding, you see, with this understanding, I am actually restraining myself. Samstabhya Atmanam Atmana. Samstabhya Atmanam Atmana is a line from Gita also. Exactly the same word is there. Samstabhya Atmanam Atmana. I have to control myself with my own proper thinking and proper analysis. And that is the reason why I don't grieve. And then you also, you please give up your grief. And then the same, all the holy waters which have been brought from Ganges and various other holy rivers and oceans, etc., let the same waters be there for my Vrata Snanam while going to forest. And immediately he says, no, even that is not needed, because I will fetch my own water from the well, because I have to draw water, my own water from the well. Why should I have that water which is brought by somebody else? And then he says, don't blame Kaikeyi, because she is a person who is impelled by fate, and she is just saying so only because fate is actually driving her. So here, when Valmiki is talking about fate, we should not misunderstand that he is advocating some fatalism or something. The point is, he is indirectly hinting that the divine will, when he is repeatedly saying the divine will, he is hinting that Rama is also an avatar. Rama is also an avatar, and that divine scheme is there. There is a divine scheme which is behind all this. So that also he is hinting. Then we come to section, Sarga 23. So in this Sarga 23, you hear a lot of, anger. So on the part of Lakshmana. Lakshmana is still unconvinced. And then he is proposing...
There is one more shloka here, which is similar to the Bhagavad Gita shloka. Sukha-dukhe vayakrodho labha labho bhava bhavo echakimchit tata bhutam nanu daivasya karmata.
Yeah, and shloka number is, that is shloka number 22. Yeah, exactly, almost like that. Sukha-dukhe vayakrodho labha labho bhava bhavo. Almost the same like Gita. Then we come to 23rd Sarga. Here, of course, Lakshmana, he gives a point of view which is the modern point of view. All our modern day critics who criticize Ramayana for being a very weak man, Rama is effeminate and weak. So all these things, Lakshmana is presenting that point of view. It is not as though Valmiki was unaware of these things. Valmiki has examined all these arguments, what all arguments even our present day communists may give, all the people who are say other people may give. So all those discussions are anticipated, and then they are actually discussed and sorted out also. And then this is what is dharma, Valmiki finally says. And then Rama turns to Lakshmana, and then his head, this Lakshmana's head is actually, he's bending his head. And then now you see the description of Lakshmana, and he is shuttling between some sort of jagama ashu sahasa dainya harshayoho. On one hand, he is slightly getting convinced and then feeling okay, and then again he is becoming angry, feeling that grief and cheerfulness. He is getting slightly becoming cheerful, and then slightly and immediately getting very harsh. And then he was like a snake heaving a sigh. You see, nishvasya nishaswasa mahasarpo bilasthayiva roshitaha. Bilastha, a snake which is there in that hole, and then he is very, very angry. So like that snake, he is roshitaha, like an angry snake, he heaved a sigh of relief. And then he tells very, very angrily. And then he was just shaking his hands. When you just don't like a thing, you will be shaking your hand, and then you will also be shaking your head. So as long as Rama was talking, all his behavior was like that. You see, he was just shaking his hands and then shaking his head. And then one line, you see, Agrakshniya vikshamanastu tiryag bhrataram abravit. You see, he didn't look straight at Rama. He just looked at this cross-eyed. You see, when you are angry with somebody, you just look cross-eyed. Oh, what do you think? Who cares? So something like that. You see, so in that looking at Rama crossly, with a cross-eyed, not looking straight, just looking at him in a very, very careless manner. And then he said like this. You see, something which is asthane sambhramo yasya. You see, this is something. Your decision is something which is very, very hasty. And then such meek words, they don't become you. You see, yathakiyavam ashaundiram shaundiraha kshatriyashabha. Shaundira means a valorous person. A kshatriya, you are a valorous person. And such meek words, they don't befit you. And then you are too scared about what people are likely to talk. You see, you are too scared. And why do you praise destiny? And you are praising destiny so much, you see. And these people means this Kaikeyi and Dasharatha, these two, they are actually exploiting your good nature. Tayos sucharitam swartham shathyat parijihirshatoho. That is, they are cheating. Shathyam means vanchana. Vanchana is cheating. They are actually deceiving you. You see, they are exploiting your good nature. And then all these boons, etc., they are all fraud. How could he could have actually fulfilled them even earlier? Why did he not fulfill them earlier? He had just kept them pending, and then right at this nick of moment, he has brought out this, boons and all that. It is all a fraud. And then I can't hear this excuse. I can't hear this. You please excuse me, he says. May Shantumarhasi. Shantumarhasi means you have to excuse me. And I also hate dharma. The word dharma, you see, sopi dharmo mama dveshyaha. I hate this word dharma, which has thus confused your mind, you see. It has just confused your mind, not only confused, but it has deluded. Vimuhyasi. Yat prasangad vimuhyasi. It has actually brought out vimoha or delusion in your mind. And you see, you are a capable person, not that you are incapable. And why obey them? And then they wanted to deceive you. This type of dharma charana by you is something which is deplorable, he says. And then he again turns to Daivam. And this Daivam, what you call Daivam, is something fickle. Only the fickle people and weak people, they only talk about what is called the divine will. Viklavo virya Yes sadaivam anuvartate. Viklavaha, somebody who is a fickle-minded person, or virya somebody who is not at all valorous, who is a weak person. Only such a person will say, oh, this is all divine will, what can we do? And not anybody with some amount of self-respect. Anyone with some self-respect will not bother for this divine thing. We don't care. And then he says, you just defy destiny. He says, you just defy destiny. Daivam purushakarena yas samartha prabadhitum. Daivam purushakarena. You see, that divine destiny may be there. But then with your human effort, purushakaram is human effort, with your human, say action, let us say, and that can be defied, and you can do anything. Destiny cannot do anything, you see. And then he says, today people will see, now people will see whether a man is great or destiny is great, you see. Drashyanti tvadya daivasya paurusham purushasya cha. People will see which is greater, whether destiny is great or human being is great. And then people will see that destiny is defeated by me, he says. And I will restrain the wild elephants. I will restrain this wild elephant called Daivam with my valor. And then he says, all the lords of the world, Dikpalakaha, all the lords of the world, Lokapalaha, they can't stop me. They can't stop Rama's coronation, you see. And what to talk of this poor father. And then he says, this is something which is very secretly planned, you see. Mitho Rajan Samarthitaha. It is secretly planned. And then in fact, you will be coronated and they will go to forest and I will destroy all hopes of Kaikeyi. And then, you see, and once you are coronated, you will rule the world you will rule the kingdom for about 1,000 years. Then you can go to Vanaprastha, because Vanaprastha is something which is prescribed for the kings. He says, Purvarajarshi Vrutyahi Vanavaso. Then he also says, Aryaputra Karishyanti Vanavasam Gatetvai. When you go to Vanaprastha, your sons will become king. Your sons will become the kings. And then he says, it is also the practice for kings to go to Vanaprastha. This is another point which is told. That is, at some point of time, the king had to renounce the kingdom, hand over the kingdom to the children, and he had to go to Vanaprastha. This was a very happy arrangement. Instead of the son waiting for that old man to die and all that, by the time old man dies, this man also may become old. So he may not be able to do anything independently, whether good or bad. So there was a nice arrangement that these people, even now for us, you see, like we retire now and then one retirement and then doing something useful to society is another type of Vanaprastha. So it is a lesson to all of us. So he says, Purva Rajarshi Vrutyahi Vanavaso Vidhiyate Praja Nikshipya Putreshu Putravat Paripalane. You see, Praja Nikshipya Putreshu. You entrust the job of governing the people to the Putras, to the sons, and then the king has to go to the forest. This is the ancient dharma. And then he also says, okay, I do promise that I shall protect your kingdom like a shore protects the sea, you see. Just like the shore protects the sea, like that, I will protect your son. And unless, if I don't do that, I will not have that Veeraswargam, he says. Veeraswargam is that all the valorous people, they are said to go to Swarga. So I will not get that Veeraswargam if I don't do that. And then he says, you just go ahead with Abhisheka. I alone can stop all the opponents. And my hands are not for show. There is a beautiful utterance by Lakshmana. Na shobhartha vimau bahu. All these, you see, I have got strong shoulders. Sometimes we show our muscles. I see how strong I am. So like that he says, Na shobhartha vimau bahu. These hands are not for shobha, not for just show. And then, and this bow, na dhanur bhushanayame. This bow is not an ornament, you see. And then this sword is not an ornament which is hanging, say, to my waist. And all these arrows, they are not just dumb, say, weights. They are not dumb weights. So, na sharas tambhahetavaha. They are not some dumb weights, you see. They are supposed to go and conquer the enemy. They are all meant for the enemy. And then he says, and so today this battlefield will be full of dead bodies and full of body limbs and dead bodies, and then the bodies of humans, horses and elephants, you see. And once I wear the finger guards and take up my bow, they used to wear some finger guards. Baddha Godhangulitrana. Godhangulitrana is some skin of a particular animal, which is very tough skin, and then for protecting the fingers. Once I wear it and then stand with my bow, nobody can stand in front of me. So all those valorous words he says. And he says, I am your kinkara, you see. Tathaiva mam shadhi davasmi kinkaraha. 40th shloka. I am your kinkara. Kinkara is a servant. Sanskrit word kinkara is kim karomi. Kim karomi. What shall I do? What shall I do? A person who is in front of you saying kinkara, kim karomi, he is a kinkara. So I am your kinkara. The kingdom is yours. And then Rama gently, you see, he wipes Lakshmana's tears, he holds him, he just wipes Lakshmana's tears and then consoles him, you see. And finally says very, very coolly, you see, Uvacha pitrorvachane vyavasthitam nibodhamam. You see, I am standing by the word of the father. Very coolly said, know that I will obey father's word. And yesha hi saumya nibodhamam, yesha hi saumya satpathaha. This is the right path, satpathaha. This is the right path. This is the path followed by all noble people, satpathaha. It can mean right path or path followed by all great people. Then we come to section, that is Sarga 24. In this Sarga 24, there is a lot to talk about the, say, husband and wife relationship. Husband-wife relationship is told in detail by Rama. And then, after when he consoled Lakshmana, Kausalya again resumes, resumes her lament. She says, how can you stay in this unchavrutti? Mai jato dasharathat katham unchena vartayet. Unchavrutti is just living off the land, living in olden days, you see. For example, unchavrutti is two types. Unchavrutti, when people used to plow lands and then take away the crops, they used to leave some grain for the sake of birds and for the sake of beggars. And the beggars used to, some of the Brahmins used to live by unchavrutti. They made it a duty to live by unchavrutti. It was their duty, not duty in the sense it was a self-imposed duty. Nobody imposed it. It was a self-imposed duty to live such a simple life. They used to carry the grains and then whatever was available, they used to cook food. But of course, this Rama is not even staying in such a place. He is going to some uninhabited place, Vijane Vane. So which means that he has to eat whatever is available in the jungle, some tubers and some roots, some leaves and fruits, etc. So that is what is unchavrutti. And even his servants here, she says, even his servants here, they eat all delicious food. And how can he live on fruits? How can he live mula phalani, Ramo vane mula phalanyai? How can he eat that roots and fruits, etc.? And then, you see, I feel, indeed, this destiny is all powerful. Nunam tu balavan loke kurtantaha. Kurtanta is that destiny or divine will is something which is all powerful. And she says, like a cow, again she uses the word cow, like a cow following the calf, I will follow you. And then again Rama convinces her, you see, this king, the king has been, influenced by Kaikeya, Vanchito Raja. You see, the king has been, influenced by Kaikeyi. And then, Bhartuh Bhavatyacha Parityekto Nanumam Vartaishe. No, she says, you see, the king has been cheated by Kaikeyi. And if you, Rama says, if you leave him, he will not be able to live. You see, Kaikeyi has actually cheated him. If you also leave him, and come along with me to forest, he will not survive. And then, abandoning a husband is something which is cruel, and you have to serve him. It is your duty to serve him. And then, okay, she keeps quiet. And then Rama again tells her, you see, I will come back in 14 years. And then, then she again says, Kausalya again says, like a Sutavatsala. Sutavatsala means, Vatsala, I told you the meaning of Vatsala. Vatsala is a dhenu which actually licks its calf, which is just newly born and then which is lying in that womb, waters and then and also in the mud. It totally licks the entire body and lifts it up. So that is Vatsala. She holds him like that. And then she says, I just can't stay with these people. Take me along. I can't stay with these people. Asam Rama Sapatninam Madhye. All these Sapatni. Sapatni means Dasharatha's other wives. I can't stay among all of them. But then Rama says, no, as long as a woman lives, you see, she has to serve the husband. So that is what he says. And Bharata also is a Dharmatma. Bharatasyapi Dharmatma Sarvabhuta Priyam Vadaha. He is somebody who is kind to all the beings. Sarvabhuta Priyam Vadaha means somebody who is very kind to all the beings. He is a Dharmatma. He will stand by Dharma. He will respect you. and see that the king is consoled. And then this grief actually may kill the king. So don't allow, if you also are cruel, if you do not serve him now, right now, he will die. And all through your life, you see, you have led an austere life. Vratopavasa nirata. You have all through your life you have served. You have led a very, very austere life. And that is not enough, you see. You have to stay with your husband and then you have to serve him. And even if you don't worship gods, you have to serve the husband. Of course, this serving the husband is coming repeatedly. It may be nowadays the young women may not say like this type of thing, but then this was the dharma. This was the dharma in olden days. Of course, for modern days we have to slightly amend, saying that the husband also has to share some little bit of service. If the husband and wife are there in the modern society, the husband also has to share some burden in the house. He can't sit idle and then sit in a sofa. And then he can't say, okay, bring me tea, bring me that, bring me this. To prepare dosha today, prepare something else today. This man also has to share some burden in the kitchen or some in the family. So, of course, in those days, you see, Bhartru Sushrushayanari labhate swargam uttamam. But these words have guided Indian society for generations, for thousands of years. And then people were like this, or say, for thousands of years. So, maybe. Now, of course, the society has changed and the value system has changed. Maybe we have to do some slight modification. And then he says, you keep worshipping gods. Pujyaste matkrute devi brahmanashchaiva satkrutaha. You keep worshipping gods for my sake, and then also continue to do charity to brahmanas. And then say in this way you just be here. And then you live happily, you will live happily after I come back. You see, you keep serving the father. And then Kausalya says, okay, you have made such a resolve, let gods be with you, be safe, and then my sorrow will end only when you return. She is getting slightly reconciled. Then she says, you come back and make me happy with your delightful words, she says. And then she says, Babhu vachas swastyayana bhishankanshini. Swastyayanam. She is mentally prepared for that Swastyayanam. Let your path be safe. Have a safe journey. So that's what she said there. So I think we will stop here. We will continue next. Harihi Om Tat Sat.